Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next episode review for Yashahime Princess Half Demon, Season 2, Episode 3, The Silver Scale Curse. And I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. And first, one of the parts is that we finally explained what happened to Rin, why she ended up in the Tree of Ages. Well, we know because the reason was because of Zero. But we can explain how that part happened, so... Which, we finally got the answers to that. And the rest of the episode I enjoyed. Moroha had some funny moments while talking to Bokusino. I said Bokusin, but there was a part where there was a dash O to it, so Bokusino, so I got that part name messed up. It was Bokusino, the demon that's in the tree, the 2,000-year-old tree. So, Bokusino. But Moroha had some funny moments with him, and good moments with Riku as well, and Zero as well. More with the Rainbow Pearls, and I just really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was going to be a good episode, and it was. So the Silver Scale Curse, okay. So that's what it was that I enjoyed, but it was a really great episode. And like I said, all the stuff that I said before. So, but going through it now. So, we start with our trio once again. Toa, Setsuna, and Moroha. They're looking for Bokusino to find the Kyokyo root. I finally got the name right. Kyokyo root. To help with Toa's sword. They're looking for it. And there's the more Setsuna, since they're being followed, we cut to with Sesshomaru once again with Jokin with the Tree of Ages, where Rin is, and this is the Dream Butterfly again, and wondering, if Toa will be able, Setsuna will be able to master that, be able to master her new weapon, and Sesshomaru was like, who knows, basically. So, and then as they're walking away, Jokin we have a flashback from when Jokin says, because he's looking at Rin, and he's like, if I recall, Rin must have been 18 years old back then. So, back the time when she gave birth to Toa and Setsuna. So back then, Rin was 18 back then, I guess. So, and then it cuts to with as soon as with Sesshomaru and Inuyasha took out the Grim Comet. Rin was out to seeing the Grim Comet, and she's actually singing that song, with Setsuna that would play on her violin. That song, Rin's actually singing that song, which that was kind of nice. And then Zero shows up as that name that she was disguised for was Odusio, the name. And he just goes and blatantly tells Rin that I'm seeking your half demon twins, and that's how she despises them, half demons, let alone humans. And saying that it was something with dialogue. They said that what was it? She said that it was like who seek to be loved during your short fleeting life. It was something like that, but I guess it was referring to Rin because she's a human and all that. And then Zero has a silver scale, and she throws it on Rin's neck. So that's it's the silver scale curse. So, and by telling doing so with that curse is that more silver scales will grow all over her body, and basically rot her away, basically. More as it goes, it'll eventually cover up Rin's body and just basically make her body rot away. And which I'm thinking, that is very messed up, because that kind of scheme like that would sense it was something that I feel like something that what Naraka would do with somebody, because how he's always always causing misery, despair for everybody. I'm like, that's the kind of thing that something that Naraka would kind of do. Pain, suffering, all that stuff. Okay. Which it is a very messed up thing. And then Rin, Sesshomaru comes in, was gonna tag Zero, but the thing is though, it's like, saying that do you want her to die? And then it shows that the red thread is that she's attached to Rin now. So if you kill, which we said it was said before in the previous season that if Zero dies, Rin dies. But it just shows that the red thread or string that this now she's attached to now, and which is something that Setsuno can do. With her new Naga that she can cut fate, something that cannot be severed. So she can cut that, like how in the previous episode had showed that when Setsuno went down to the water, showed the red string would show with the water demon, and the red string was that guy, the guy who was turned to statue, the one that she loved. How the red string was like attached to it. Well, same thing here. So this is something that probably the fate, that Setsuno can cut through. But yeah, Zero warns Sesshomaru if she dies, then she will die. And the only way to lift the curse, basically she put Sesshomaru in a very bonding situation. Like, okay, if Zero dies, Rin dies, but the only way to lift the curse is to kill Zero. So it's a no-win situation. It's a no-win situation for Sesshomaru. So, but because how Sesshomaru does, and Sesshomaru gives her a look because she wants to know where the twins are. Where the half-demon twins are, and Sesshomaru has that look on his face, saying how ridiculous. And Joggin, he was about to go tell, but Rin shuts him up, and say, don't do it, and said that even though I haven't held my children yet, but even so, my love for them rivals that of yours, Sesshomaru. So basically, even though she loves her kids, his rivals out of her love for Sesshomaru. So then Zero laughs. She leaves, and then Rin passes out because it's the curse that gets she getting too hot. Getting too hot. So she passes out, and then the only way to save her, keep her now, is put her in the Tree of Ages. You do not see that her physically being put in the Tree of Ages, but it's saying, just put her in the Tree of Ages, and that's how she ended up there. And then I guess when soon after she was put into the tree, it started glowing red, and we saw the scales start growing. Like first it was one scale, now it's two, and this is after when the girls were found, because she was put in the trees for some time, and then until when the girls got separated, because Jock is telling Rin in the tree that Zero found the girls and that the forest was burned down. So at that time, now another scale is growing on her, so it starts growing, and then the spirit of the Tree of Ages, disguised as Kikyo, in the form of Kikyo, saying that that Setsuno is still alive, and Toa has traveled across to the other world, and basically it says the only way to keep Rin is to keep her alive is to freeze her in time. So by using the dream butterfly, and Trikyo, you can say that's what people are calling it. It's the tree mixed with Kikyo, Trikyo. Get it? So that's what people are saying, Trikyo. But she gives Jokin this little insect thing. It's for the dream butterfly, and gives it to. And this is how gives it to Setsuna to keep someone who is close to her. So that's how Setsuna lost her dreams. Jokin gave this thing to her, without her knowing it, and that's how Setsuna was not able to dream. And this is how it's been keeping Rin alive the whole time. So yeah, all that we finally get explained what happened to Rin finally, which that was pretty good. How the way it goes, like especially with Zero, her plan was, it's a way like something that Naraka would do. And you just make me want to hate her more because but the only way to lift the curse is to kill me. But the thing is though, now that I'm attached to Rin, if I die, she dies. It is kind of something that what Naraka would do. It was okay. I kind of like that little sister thing, but at the same time, it makes you hate Zero more now. Oh man. So we go back. We go back to with our trio. They're going to this large field. They could. Sessa say they're still being followed. She goes back. These three demons, for we know what they're called. They're not ogres, but they're something else. They attack her. And then one thing is that one had this green thing glowing eye, which it did contain a green rainbow pearl. And then these three demons get killed off very easily by Riku, which is nice. Shows Riku is still a badass. He got the green pearl, and shows that little sword. It was a part of his that little thing is attached to his earring. And it says it was sentient because it was like giving off strange wavelengths, as it says. So, just give us strange wavelengths, and saying that are you since because he doesn't trust since she doesn't trust Riku, saying that but Riku saying that he hates to see Lady Toa cry. Well, yeah, I hate to see Lady Toa cry because if anything happened to Susanoo again. So, saying are you in league with Kirimaru? And he's saying I can't deny that part. However, I will never admit to it. Although it kind of says at the finale of the first season, he was not in league with it because he stabbed him. So I don't want to say that he's not. He's definitely obviously he's not in league with Kirima, but he's saying, "Oh, I cannot deny it, but I'll never admit to it." And they're saying that and Riku's pointing out that because when Sessa was trying to fight those three demons, because we know in the first episode we saw how her new Naginata was very powerful, right? How it took out all those demons and caused that explosion. When she's fighting these three demons, that it wasn't really showing all that power from what was before. And then Riku's telling her that you're not using it to its full potential yet. So, okay. And then saying that, well, I'll be your bodyguard. I'll be your bodyguard for now. But I don't want to deal with you every time we meet. This is saying. Riku was showing us that how he's very funny and all that. And then, so, by doing so, maybe you can say temporary truce, maybe you say that. But then he leaves by leaving Susanoo with a piece of paper. It's like a map. And then we cut to Kirimaru eating his grapes, saying that that amuses him. And then Susanoo shows where they're going, and they find Bokuseno. And this is where Moroha, being typical Moroha, she's being funny. This is why I think a funny moment from her. As I said before, I enjoy Moroha. She's always very funny, but she's talking to Bokuseno, and she says, "What you want?" Because he is well informed. He knows who they are, who their parents are, and he's asking about the Kyokyo route, and asking about all the things regarding the Ten Saiga, the sheep. Like, the sheaf was made from you, the Ten Saiga, but the Ten Seiga as well. So, but Moroha's just being basically trying to be being a sucker, basically, and it was pretty funny. She's that little snobby look, that it was a Moroha. She's just very funny, And then we cut back to with Zero. Like she has the four pearls, and then Riku has gathered the remaining three, saying that you can with all these pearls you can start the degenerate age, which we've heard that before. We've heard that from Trikio. Yeah, that's the name, Trikio. We've heard that from her, and then even with from Kirimaru when he was talking to Sesshomaru's mother about the windmill of time. About starting that degenerate. Even Riku brought that up from before, a degenerate age. So, yeah, this whole thing it has to be doing with that windmill of time. But yeah, with the pearls, you can start the degenerate age can begin. And that's going about more about it's not just you, but also about growing about the what was it but with Riku with Toa with Riku going with Toa, and he's like, oh yes, of course. And then coming back to Bokuseno, Moroha, how was they do it being next day being But they're asking about how we can get the Kyukyon root that is done from a demon spirit tree, and Moroha was like kind of like persuading him to say where are they at. I was like, oh, it's not from you. No, it's from you. The Kyukyon root is dug up from the demon tree, a demon spirit tree, and it's over at Mount Sube. Mount Susube, I think it was called. That's the same mountain where Toa originally was going to go from the beginning of the series, the first season, where Toa, that name Mount Sube is where the dream butterfly was to be at. That's where she originally was going to go and try and find where Mount Sube is at, so that she can get Setsu's dreams back. So that's where they can find the Kyokyo rune. It takes some demon energy is being stored in there, and I said that even Kirimaru was afraid of it. Okay, so that place where Kirimaru is afraid of. Okay, and then it comes back with Zero and Riku, and you get this interesting thing where like Zero's holding Kirimaru like this. Riku. Sorry, Zero's holding Riku like this, and it's saying that since Riku, which we already been established that Riku has been a part of Kirimaru, right? But with Riku, since he's part of Kirimaru can see and hear everything through Riku. Like, so she's talking. So like, she's not, because Riku looks like he's confused at first. Because like, what are you talking about? Zero's talking to Kirimaru through Riku. She's looking at him and seeing through Riku through Kirimaru. It's like, you can see that he's telling Kirimaru through Riku, saying, I've collected the rainbow pearls, and you can see me and hear me. And like I said, Riku looks confused and saying that how he was originally created. So we get the origin, we get to explain how Riku was born from. We knew he was born from Kirimaru, but it said he was born from a horn that was cut off from Kirimaru. Because if you see it as like more of his demon form, that he has horns, but one of them right here was broken. And that was because, like 600 years ago, he was fighting with Toga, as we recall, the grandfather of our three leads, and the father of Sesshomaru and Inuyasha. That Toga was fighting Kirimaru. He cut off a piece of his horn, and that little piece of horn, that's how Riku was born, how he was created. So everything he sees, what Kirimaru is seeing here is also can be through Riku. Which, if that's the case, then if you can see and hear anything that's through Riku, so earlier shouldn't Kirimaru know about when Sessuna was talking to Riku earlier in this episode? Okay, but I was like, okay, shouldn't he not know about that since he can see and hear through Riku? And then they get directions, and then back with our trio, they get directions where Mount Subi is at. Like, Bokusen just points out where it's at. It's this direction. Yeah, where it's this way. And then he's like, oh, did I tell him everything? Oh, I didn't tell him about the barrier. But Setsuna heard that, so it tells him about the barrier. And then, so after also mentioned that Zero told Riku don't show his face around her again, because since he knows through Kimu sees and hears, she tells Zero to get away, don't show himself in front of her again. So basically, don't go near her. Tells her don't come near me ever again, because that's why. So he goes and leaves. And then he sees it. She's putting each of the rainbow pearls to see the memories through. Like, she puts the orange rainbow pearl and sees through what Tototsu was, his memories. And then she puts in the red rainbow pearl. And sees it for the memories that with with Moroha, and then through Izoi. Izoi was Inuyasha's mother, his human mother. And because of that, because the Red Rainbow Pearl was stored in Moroha's Rouge. And she's asking, why, Izoi, why is that woman's memories in the Red Pearl? Because it was the whole time in Moroha's possession, and through a Rouge, and especially was from Inuyasha's mother, what the Rouge was from. So, and then she puts the Golden Pearl, and she sees all the memories basically from Setsuna. You know, how where she was staying at with Shiori, with the other half demons, and everything else then. And again, she gets so enraged, she tosses it. She tosses all the pearls, saying all these been tainted with filthy memories. And knowing that Sesshomaru knew this would happen, she gets so enraged by that. Which, yeah. Well, yeah, because, it's been because Sesshomaru put the pearls in both the twins' eyes, the silver and gold pearls in both of the twins' eyes, so, of course. And then we cut back to inside Mount Sube, which I thought was first we see the design of Mount Sube. It kind of looks like the design of a woman. Like up here, you see like a woman's face and a hand down here. Okay, that's like kind of a cool looking design. How the way this mountain is looking, I like that. And then we cut to the new character. What was her name? Her name was Rion. I think so. Rion. Yeah, her name is Rion. Yeah, I finally got that name right too as well. Because at first I can't remember what her name was. Yeah, it's Rion. And apparently, I guess I think I probably said this before when we first heard about it in the trailer. What we saw in the trailer, I believe she's the daughter of Kirimaru, and she's kind of like being see-through right now. She's inside Mount Sube. Mount Sube. But I guess maybe a reason why there's a barrier there, maybe that's the reason why Kirimaru is afraid. Is it he's afraid of her, or it's the other way around? Or he can't go through the barrier. I don't know. That has to be the reason why what Kirimaru is so afraid of. So is it because she can be more powerful than he is, Rion? Maybe that's why, or I don't know. But it just ends with her just being like she's looking like a ghost, see through, right? And she's just laying right there inside the mountain where all this demon energy is at. But yeah. So hopefully that will get explained. But here, this episode, the Silver Scale Curse, episode 3 of season 2, I definitely give this a thumbs up. Definitely, I really enjoyed this episode. A lot was happening. We got some answers we explained, especially what happened to Rin. Finally, I enjoyed that. How the way it goes, especially with things with Zero, Sesshomaru. Things that happened with Riku and with Setsuna. Moroha was definitely funny as usual, talking with Bokusino. Yeah, Bokusino. So, not just Bokusino. Yeah, so a lot was happening. So I really did enjoy this one. It's a little bit longer, just because I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. There's a lot that happened going on in this episode. So, but yeah, episode 3 of season 2, Yashahime. The Silver Scale Curse. A lot would happen in this one. I really did enjoy this. That's why I definitely give this a thumbs up. A lot has happened in this episode, and finally got to see what happened. Finally happened to Rin because of Zero. We already knew that though, but we had to really see how it went, how it happened. And like I said, that was kind of a messed up thing, the way something that Naraka would use. But basically, one thing I got to point out, when the Tree Kid was talking to Jock and saying to keep her alive is to freeze her in time. So, basically, by the time when she was put in the Tree of Ages, she was 18, what Jockin said. So after all this time, she's been frozen in time. So after all this time, she's still 18. So she's still the same age. Rita's still the same age from when she was put in the Tree of Ages, because what Rico said to feed her the Dream Butterfly, she was to be frozen in time to keep her alive from the curse being lifted, until the curse is lifted. So Rin is basically still the same age when she was in there. So basically she's still 18. But then that leaves a question, okay. So that part is fine. She's frozen in time. She's still the same age from when she left, before we put in the tree. Now there's been to wonder, what happened with Inuyasha and Kagome? Did they went to the place where they didn't age, or they just aged, or especially Kagome, did she age as usual? So that kind of leaves the question on that part. So maybe, I don't know. It's different how the way what happened to Rin because that's circumstances. So probably not. But anyway, that's another question. That's okay. So Rin's basically been all this time been still the same age since she was put in there. But yeah. But I really enjoyed this episode. It was a really fun, well paced, and episode, and I really enjoyed it. So I give this definitely a thumbs up. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode review of The Great Jockey Will Not Be Defeated, episode 11. Stay tuned for that. And then afterwards, later, we'll give my thoughts on the preview on the next episode of episode 4 of Yashahime. Later.